Let's talk about the Apple Vision Pro. I'm here with my live stream, and we're doing this as something new. So we're going to talk about this. I'm going to give you my thoughts and feelings about the Apple Vision Pro, and chat's just going to be here hanging out with me. If you want to be involved with something like this, you should probably hit the subscribe button and maybe even hit the notification so you can be here and talk with me about it. Now, first of all, let's talk about the Apple Vision Pro. If you've heard it a billion times, you probably have heard it a million times, which is less than a billion, but let's forget about that for a second. It's the newest, latest, and greatest thing from Apple, but let's be real clear about what it is and what it is not. In my mind, to everything that I've said for the longest time, this is not really a product per se that Apple is releasing like everything else, like the Apple Watch, the earbuds, any of that stuff. It's not the same thing. What this is a test. And you can tell it's a test because they're making somewhere between 60 to 80,000 of these units. That's something that Kuoming Chi just recently said on his Twitter, and that's very telling. I want you to think about that for a second. Now, while these things are super expensive, $3,500 each, and when you do the math between selling 70 to 80,000 devices at $3,500 each, and that's like $280 million. That's a lot of money. You also have to remember the amount of R&D that went into this thing, plus the hardware itself. We don't know if they're actually turning a profit per device. And certainly if you think about all the R&D and everything that went into this, they probably are not. If they wanted to turn a profit, they would have to release a whole bunch more of these. Or maybe Apple's so smart that they're going to be able to turn some sort of profit or maybe break even with just the 70 to 80,000 they're going to release. But the fact they're doing it in such a small number really indicates a lot of things. This is a test. It is not a general product like everything else that Apple does. You have to keep that in mind when you see these reviews. This product is not for 99% of the people out there at all. It's not meant to be for them. They are basically guinea pigs in a way, a very expensive guinea pig and a beta test for something that could be much larger in the future when the price can come down to something like the Meta Quest 3. The one thing Apple's really good at is experience. The experience you have with any particular Apple device, especially when you're in the ecosystem. Imagine having your eyes in the Apple ecosystem. Can it get any crazier than that? You're going to see this thing take off or be immediately forgotten within a year of this thing coming out. This is kind of a make or break thing. If Apple can actually make this thing work and not have a whole bunch of these devices break, which, let's be honest, someone's gonna burn their eyes out with this thing. You're gonna see someone out there with some crazy weird thing. It's gonna blow up or something weird's gonna happen, as it always does with new devices. And they can weather that storm and still find that there is something there. They need to get it out to more people to understand, is there really something there? The fact that they're actually bringing this to market in a way that you can purchase is interesting. I will say that front. They have a bunch of things they've created over the last couple of years that have never made it to market. They feel so strongly about this that they're at least bringing it to market. But that price alone really tells you they only want certain people to have access to this. Not only that, they are only giving review access in a very specific number of people, YouTubers and such, in a very specific way. They have some that they're going to see, I think next week, they're going to see in person, which will obviously be surrounded by Apple people. And then I think the review unit time is going to be really short compared to the buy time. Now, all that to be said, if you're interested in this product, that's great, but what are you going to expect? If you've never seen VR or AR before, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you try something like Meta Quest first. Not because it's going to be so much better or that I'm trying to get you to buy something else, but the fact is some people can't use AR and VR because it messes with their head, or they get motion sickness, or they just don't like the experience at all of being closed out from the rest of things that are around them. Now, the Meta Quest 3 I've been using for quite a while. It's great. I love it. It's absolutely fantastic, but it's not for everyone. I've had people that I were convinced were going to love this thing and they just can't use it. So something like this is $3,500. You should not be going into this wondering if it's going to be the next best thing and you're going to love everything about it and you're going to be missing $3,500. If $3,500 plus tax is going to ruin your life, even if for only a month, this is not the product for you. Selling out is better marketing. Yes, the whole selling out thing is a Nintendo thing. Let's just make a couple sell out and say we sold out. But I think also in Apple's mind, first of all, there's no risk in them not selling 80,000. I don't know how long it's going to take. I think no one really knows. Very expensive product, but they're going to sell out of them. Some people are predicting within hours. Some people are saying it's going to be weeks. Regardless of what it is, this is a product to be very clear, I think is exciting. The only problem that I see with this is trying to convince the average everyday consumer how this, even in a better format, maybe something that works like glasses, is actually going to be something that they're going to want in order to break that ceiling. Now, they've been able to do it before. You got to remember, the iPhone was not the first smartphone. They come in late to every single product line that they have dominated. Think about it. Smartphones, headphones, smartwatches, they were not first in any of those things, yet they dominate all of those niches. They can do it again here, but what is the top level of an AR VR headset? Is it 1 million? Is it 2 million? There are hundreds of millions of smartphones out there, so we'll just have to wait and see. Let's take a look real quick at some of the chat, see what people say. I reckon some people will buy the Vision Pro and sell it more for Hey, some people are going to be flipping these things. 100% true. Large companies are going to buy hundreds, if not thousands. That is possible. Super collector's item. Listen, if you're a big Apple fan and you want to collect some of their older technology, you absolutely should buy this. You're one of the few people that I'm going to say, yeah, as an Apple collector, you should absolutely have this. I can see companies buy hundreds of thousands in an expensive device and will save them 10 times the investment. Could possibly. The storage thing. So people are talking about the low amount of storage. I think it's 256. But if you know anything about a lot of these VR devices, 128 gigabytes of storage is actually a lot of storage because these apps aren't as big as you might think. Having said that, if I'm spending $3,500 on something, I need a terabyte, son. I need a terabyte. Sorry, you're charging me too much. And then we'll talk about one more thing. How will Apple Vision Pro be worth three grand? Listen, I don't have an answer for that. I really don't. For some people, as a curiosity who have money to burn, maybe so. Has Apple specified this device can work outdoors in the rain or freezing cold? My guess is it can't. I could be wrong here. I could be completely wrong, but this is not something I would ever take outside. There's nothing about this thing that looks like it's ready for that. And to your point, that is probably the next step for a device like this to actually gain mainstream acceptance, that you can wear it anytime, anywhere. But what do you think? Leave me a comment below. And if you want to join us here in the live stream where we're going to be chatting here for a while longer, why don't you hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell? And we're just going to keep on chatting. We'll see you next time. Peace and love.